Yeah, good evening everyone. One quick check with the AV. I think we are good here. Hello folks, good evening. Good evening Athar, good evening Varsha, everyone. Are we good here? I guess yes. Someone give me a thumbs up. Yeah, great. Awesome. Right. So we'll continue with where we left. So I guess in the last class we started talking about pipes and cisterns, but then we had a technical glitch and we had to wrap it up earlier. So what we'll do is we'll keep that reserve. We'll talk about man-days. I think that is a concept that we all need to know. Once we finish it off, we'll go back to those previous questions because those were good questions. I'll see if time permits if that we can do those questions. If not, we'll at least do the man-days part. Great. Yeah. So yes. Just waiting for a few more folks to join. Right. So to begin with, what is man-days? Can anyone tell me what man-days is? Can someone tell me that? I want to have a look at the chat and see if I'm getting any answers about that. Let's see. Define, if anyone has an understanding about man-days, if there is something that's in your head and that you feel like, hey, I think this is what man-days is. In case if you are a working professional, I think in a lot of projects when it comes to completion of tasks, I think your managers would have used this word at some point in your life. They would say we need these many man-days. I've heard this word all through my life. Every time there's a task to be completed, the first thing is how many man-days are required. What is that man-days idea? Can anyone tell me? Now, okay, Kapilan says how many man-days working for. Okay, Varsha says in how many days a particular man can complete the task. Pretty close, exactly. Efficiency of a man. Simple. In my head, every time I talk about man-days, I simply say, hey, man-days is nothing but number of men working on a task into number of days that they take. What does it mean? Now imagine this. If I say there is a task, there is a project that would take 20 man-days. What does this 20 man-days mean? It simply means if one man works on it, he would take 20 days. Simple. But if I feel like I don't have the deadline for 20 days, what do I have to do? Simple idea, put more men. Why more men? In our head we know more people work, lesser time it takes. This is something that is in theory, but sometimes I feel the more the merrier concept doesn't work when it comes to work. Imagine this, if you had sat and prepared for an exam all by yourself, it would have taken lesser time. You tell yourself, I'm going to sit with my friend and prepare. You do everything except that preparation. So the time goes up. But in general, we all understand that more the time that we take, it means that lesser the people are working on it. If I increase the number of people, the number of days goes down. So number of men and the number of days are inversely proportional. One goes up, the other one comes down. They are inversely proportional. Work and men are directly proportional. What do I mean? If I have more people, I can do more work. Right? If I have 10 people and I can construct one house, figuratively, if I have 20 people, I can construct two in the same time. Time will become constant now. Men and work are directly proportional. In simple words, we use the idea, number of men is directly proportional to the work component. But if I have number of more the men, the time that I take, the number of days that I will take reduces. Now, if I ask more people to work on a project, now again, let's put it this way. There is a project that will take 16 hours, which is 2 days, 8 hours on the first day, 8 hours on the second day. If I put 2 people, it would have gotten over in 8 hours now. So hours also decrease. More the men, lesser the hours. More the men, lesser the days. In simple words, more people working, lesser time it takes. But I'll also have that into my context. Number of men is inversely proportional to number of men. 3 important ideas proportionality that we use here is this. This is where it gets to the part that number of men into number of days is what we call it as man-days. Simple. Number of men into number of days is what is going to be called as man-days through the time. Every time look at time and work with the number of people working on a particular task, you immediately get to this idea, okay, the group, okay. Now, even before I say that statement, imagine this. There is a task, okay, let's put it this way. Imagine that you are back in school. School is a place where these examples flow in nicely. Imagine this, you are sitting in a classroom and then your PT instructor comes and then says, we have our annual day coming, we need to shift some benches, and they are calling some people, and obviously you want to go, you want to bunk the class and then you go, especially if it is a math class, you will say, I will volunteer. Now, if there are let's say there are 20 benches to lift. If there are 2 people, 2 at a time will take it and then we are done. We'll have to do 20 trips. Now, if I have 4 people doing it, it gets reduced to 5 trips. That's what our mind says. But imagine this, we have to realize that sometimes the PT instructor will call the tallest and the most strongest guy in the class. Does it mean he's going to lift 1 bench at a time? Of course he can, but we understand that the teacher will not allow it. No matter what the size of the student is, he will be carrying a bench along with a friend. In simple words, we all come to that understanding that everyone in the group works with equal efficiency. Equal efficiency. If there is a plate of food, let's say there are rotis or idlis, something, or biryani for that fact, there's an eating competition and then you feel like, okay, I'm going to eat. You will think about it as, if I call the one who eats the most, we can finish it in a quicker time. But the general logic says, you and your friend will eat with the same efficiency, irrespective of the size, the ability, the strength, it doesn't matter. Anyone who joins the group, anyone who sits in the group, we understand that they all work with equal efficiency. That's why we say 1 man taking 20 days, 2 men taking 10 days are same. Because the one who joins him for that work also works with the efficiency of the guy who is already there. Anyone in that group has an equal efficiency. 1 man into 20 days is equal to 2 men into 10 days. This is again equal to 4 men into 5 days. This is again equal to 5 men into 4 days. This is again equal to 10 men into 2 days, or 20 men into 1 day. They all happen to be same. The 1 man, 2 men, 4, 5, 10, 20, they all work with equal efficiency no matter what, unless or until said otherwise. They double their efficiency. The people who join work with 50% more efficiency. The question needs to state that unless or until that, anyone who joins works with the efficiency of the people who are already there in the group. We have to keep that in mind no matter what. Our minds automatically compute that. Sometimes the disclaimer has to be given so that we don't get carried away. We already understand that. We already know that fact. But then, just to be on the safe side, I'm giving you this heads up. Right? Any doubts up until this point? Athar says, I'm the strongest and the smartest in the class. Athar, quit drinking Horlicks. Don't do it on a regular basis. MDH, only cat is asking, are you teaching MDH approach, sir? That's one part of man-days. We'll do that. We'll also move on to the next ideas. Right? 3 men and 3 women, simple language, in how many days a particular man can complete a work? Man into days. These are questions that's going to be the next layer. That's what I said. Unless or until the question has an additional idea, you will not take it into granted. So we'll have questions which has men, women, children combining in a group. When it comes to that, we'll also understand how that's done. We'll go to that. Okay. Now we'll jump into. Only cat says, really, he is very smart, guys. I'm glad that you are smart. I'm glad that you are smart enough. I pray to the Almighty that everything falls in place for you in Cat 20. Not just Athar, anyone who jumps here. Right. Now, this idea, I'm going to incorporate it and put it in one line. I want to think about it as a chain rule, as a rule part. Now, if I say, take this for instance, one man, 20 days, working 5 hours a day. Instead of man days, this becomes man hours. One man working 20 days of 5 hours each is simply 100 man hours. You translate this entire idea to 100 man hours. That's all. You don't think about it as days now, because there is men, there are days, and there are hours. Right? Can you give me an equivalent of this? If you think about this, you can think about this as, okay, 10 men can work for 10 days of 1 hour each, which is also 100 man hours, right? One man, 20 days of 5 hours each is the same as 10 men, 10 days, 1 hour. Can we rewrite this as 10 into 10 into 1, again N D H? Yes. But if I say these people can do 2 tasks, this set of people should also be able to do 2 tasks. So work component can also change. Sometimes I'll say these people can do 20 chairs. This set of people can do only how many chairs then? So in that case, work hours divided by the man hours divided by work will give you the rate of each man, isn't it? Now the basic understanding here will be divided by 1, standard. But then if this set of people, think about it this way. Now I don't want this H here. If I say, oops, if I say this set of people can do 2 tasks in 100 man hours, these people can do 2 hours. How much work can be done here? The answer automatically should become 2 now. This should be equal to this, right? Or in simple language, this is what we write it as N1 D1 H1 divided by W1 is equal to N2 D2 H2 by W. Because we are looking for work rate now, because the work has differed. The moment work differs, we'll have to find rate of efficiency of each man in that group for that particular period of time. So you will divide it by work, men, days, hours in the numerator, work in the denominator. A simple formula that we use to solve man days questions, N1 D1 H1 by W1 is equal to N2 D2 H2 by W2. Simple idea comes from that idea. N into D is your total work. This is total work. This is total work. This is work done for one component. If there are multiple, W1 is multiple values, you think about time taken for 1 divided by W1 divided by W2. As simple as it goes. Right? Again, one look at the chart to see if everything's good here. M1 D1 H1 by W1, yes. You call it M, I call it N. The formula is one and the same. MDH masala. I call it NDH, which is fine. You want to call it anything. Again, except for theorems, properties, the methods that we all follow can be called in any way, in a way that you find it comfortable. Like for instance, the other day when we did time and work efficiency, individual efficiencies, I call it LCM method. So that I have seen people call it chocolate method. People call it units method. There are multiple names. What you want to call it is your choice. The idea, the essence has to be the same. Right. Now we'll go to it. I'm just going to use this particular layer through all the questions. The idea here is going to be one and the same for every question, except for the fact that there is going to be one layer added. So we'll go to that and see how it works. I'm going to give you this question. Have a crack at it. Simple one, straight application. So what does the question say? 12 men working 8 hours can finish a work in 10 days. 16 men working 6 hours will take how many days? Simple. N1, D1 and H1. Same work. So W is constant on both cases. Same work is the task here. So N2, D2 and H2. You look at that. So N1 is 12. D1 is 10, H1 is 8, N2 is 16, H2 is 6 hours a day, D2 is how many days? Simple. 12 into 10 into 8 is equal to 16 into D2 into 6. I'm going to cancel this 2, this is 2 times. Cancel these 2, this is 2 times. Cancel these 2. So D2 is equal to 10 days. And that's our answer. Simple, straightforward, plugging in, get to it, we are through. Right? Direct formula. Sometimes don't get carried away. There could be a scenario where you will feel like, right, this is easy, I got this, and then you will flunk it. We'll screw it up big time. Don't do that. To give you an example, let me give you a question. This is a beautiful question that always works for me. Think about it. Listen to this question. I'm going to say it out. I'm not going to show it. I want to say it out. Think of this. 10 children can eat 10 chocolates in 10 minutes. 10 children can eat 10 chocolates in 10 minutes. 100 children will eat 100 chocolate in how many minutes? 10 children, 10 chocolate, 10 minutes. 100 children, 100 chocolates, how many minutes? Go for it. Nice question. 10 children, 10 chocolates, 10 minutes. 100 children, 100 chocolates, how many minutes? Shoot. Waiting for your answers. I'm not getting the answers here, folks. Is there a lag here? Is that a big one? Please write on board. Fine. Request noted. 10 children. I don't want to write it. 10 chocolates. 10 minutes. 100 children. 100 chocolates. How many minutes? Now, by any means, if at all, at any means, if your mind says, hey, the answer is 100 minutes, this is where sometimes our minds get carried away. 10 children, 10 chocolates, 10 minutes. 100 children, 100 chocolates, 100 minutes is what your mind will automatically say. If you fall for the trap, ensure that, think about this as 10 children, 10 chocolates, 10 minutes. We just spoke about the fact that everyone works with equal efficiency. When I say 10 children and 10 chocolates, we understand that one child eats one chocolate and all of them eat it together. It's not that first child eats and then goes to the second and then goes to the third. All 10 grab one each, and to finish all of them, it takes 10 minutes. If there are 100 children with 100 chocolates, again, it's going to be the same. All 100 children will take one each, and they all start eating together. It should also take 10 minutes. By any chance, if your mind comes up with 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 100 minutes, it means that you are losing it at some point. Ensure that you don't get carried away. It might sound to be a very simple question. There have been instances in CAT where you would get a dead easy, simple piece of cake. It will be a juicy question. It will be a beautiful question to work with. You will get all the answers right. You will feel like, hey, I know this technique. I got this covered, and then you will solve it. At some point, in the moment of haste, you lose it. You might get carried away. So ensure that you stay calm. Whether it is tough or easy, approach it with the same mindset. That's important. Sometimes when I give formulas, people start applying it everywhere. This is a question that doesn't need that formula. At the same time, you don't get too carried away with that as well. Right? Focus loss. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not focus loss. I don't call it loss of focus. I call it a being a little snarky, being a little overconfident when it comes to that, which happens, man. It happens to everyone. It has happened to me. It will happen to you. It happens to everyone. That's what I say. Every time you do something, stay humble. Humility is the most strongest weapon that you can work with. Be humble every time you solve or you learn. It's important. Right. We'll hop on to the next question. After 6 days, remaining days, how many more remain? That's the question. It says 30 men can complete a work in 18 days. They start together. After 6 days, 10 men leave. After another 6 days, 10 more men leave. Remaining days to complete. Go for it. One quick check again. Let me know if you guys are comfortable with the pace that I talk, and very especially with my handwriting. Two things that shouldn't bother you. If you feel like, hey, you're going a bit too fast, slow down for me, do let me know. I repeat, sometimes I have this tendency of being a bit fast. That's natural. That's how I talk. The pace at which I talk is this. My general speed itself is 1.25x of anyone who generally talks. So I have this habit of getting a bit carried away and then being a bit fast. If you find it to be fast, do let me know. If you have a problem with my handwriting, bear with it. The pace is something that I can work with. Handwriting tough, man. For 15, 16 years, my mom tried to change my handwriting. It didn't work. I don't think it will happen today. So bear with it. Karan says 24. Kabilan says 24. We'll see. We'll see. Karan says very comfortable. This is the ideal pace. I'm glad it works for you, Karan. I'm happy it works for you. There are always a bunch of people who will struggle a bit. So it's important that we focus on them as well. That's fine. Pasha says 18. Okay. I'm getting another answer now. The first one says 24. The next says 24. And the next one says 18. We'll poke around this now. Beautiful question. 30 men can complete a work in 18 days. After 6 days, I understand they started the work together. 10 men leave. After another 6 days, 10 more leave. Remaining days to complete the work. So I'm going to look at the total work here. Every time I get questions like number of men, number of days, my standard assumption will be each man in a group works for 1 unit a day at a rate of 1 unit a day. That's the simplest number that I put. 1 man, 1 day, 1 unit, always. Once again, unless or until said otherwise. So 30 men in 18 days. So that will be 30 into 1 into 18. So that's 30 number of men into number of days. 3 into 18, 50, 54, 540 units is to be done. So when the work started, all 30 were there, but only for 6 days. After 6 days, 10 men left, which means for the first 6 days, I had 30 people working. And then after another 6 days, so here after that, for 6 days, there were 20. After another 6 days, 10 more men leave, which means for the first 6 days, I had 30. And then for the next 6 days, I had 20. And after 12 days, I had 10 people working, but I don't know for how many days they worked. That depends on how much work these group completed and what is being left out. We'll do the same thing. 30 men working for 6 days is 30 into 6. That's 180 units completed. 20 people working for 6 days, that would be 20 into 6, which will be 120 units completed. So this entire 12 days window, we have completed 180 plus 120, which is 300 units completed, which leaves me with, out of 540, 300 done, which means that I am left out with 240 units and 10 people work on it. 1 man can do only 1 unit a day. So 10 men can do 10 units a day. If I keep doing 10 units a day out of 240 units, it would have taken me 24 days. And that has to be my answer. Right. Simple again. Same like what we did with different efficiencies. People leave, people join, whatever it is. Look for the time frame. Find how much work is being completed. Sign it off. Are we good here? One quick look at the chat. Pari Jain is saying 36. Pari Jain, 36 will be the total time. The question is remaining days to complete. The remaining part of the work to complete is 24. Total time to complete will be 36. Varsha says, I did a silly mistake, but now I get it. Happens. I'm glad your silly mistake happened on March 17th, 2026. Every time you make a mistake, don't beat yourself for it. I tell people this. You make a mistake, you tell yourself, all right, I'm glad I made this mistake today, not on November 29th. This is super important, that the attitude that you carry, I'm not saying be super optimistic. Be optimistic about everything. You don't say everything for greater good. US and Iran are fighting, that's for good. This is happening somewhere, that's for good. You don't do that. Sometimes you say Fine. This is a mistake that I can afford to make today, not tomorrow, not day after, not on November 29th for sure. So carry that aspect, that's super important, and it's okay that you make this mistake today. Ayush is saying, sir, how are you so chill? I hope that's not a sarcastic statement. I'm not chill, I'm just good. I like doing this. I'm talking to you. Why shouldn't I not be chill? What do I have against you to be not chill? But I hope that you are asking in a very positive note. We'll move on to the third one now. Go for it. This question slightly adds that layer. You might have to think about 3 men can do the same work as 4 women. Okay. 20 men can complete a work in 18 days. How many women are needed to complete the same work in 12 days? Think and then solve. I'm giving you a minute or two to comprehend the question and then solve it. Getting the numbers now. Vasha says 40, Karan says 40, Kabilan says 40. Right, we'll do this now. 3 men can do the same work as 4 women. 20 men can complete a work in 18 days. How many women are needed to complete the same work in 12 days? 3 men can do the same work as 4 women. So our minds should comprehend it as, okay, whatever 3 men are capable of doing in one particular period of time, 4 women do the same task. Or I can beautifully write it as 3m is equal to 4w, where m and w are efficiency of a man and a woman. Why is it necessary to distinguish them? Because the question clearly says 3 men equal to 4 women, which means the rate at which a man works is not the same as the rate at which a woman works. Don't take me to be a male chauvinist here. I'm not an anti-feminist here. I'm not saying men do more work. That's the question format. Forgive me for the language, but that's not my language. Men could do more work, women could do more work. That part is immaterial. The only thing that we are saying here is efficiency of a man is not equal to efficiency of a woman. Don't come and fight to me saying that men and women are equal. At least in questions like these, it is not the case. That's not going to be the case scenario, at least in time and work, for the least. Maybe for this question it will come out to be same, but doesn't mean that it is always equal. Let's stick to it. So efficiency of a man into 3 is as same as an efficiency of a woman into 4. Or from here I can rewrite this as m by w is equal to 4 by 3, or m is to w is equal to 4 is to. Or it tells me that, hey, a man works at a rate of 4 units per unit time, whereas a woman works at 3 units per unit time. So 4 units for a man, 3 units for a woman. We have that, right? Now we'll go to this question. 20 men complete a work in 18 days. Beautifully gives you the total work. So the total work will be 20 times of each man working for 18 days. Number of men, unit per men into number of days. Men into days once again. If the man unit was 1, it would have been 20 into 18. But here there is a value for m. So that's why we are writing a variable. 20 into m into 18 is going to be your total work. So what is your total work? That's 20 into 4 into 18. This is my total work, and the same work should be completed in 12 days. I have to complete the same work in 12 days. And each woman can do 3 units a day. But I don't know how many women are there. 3 units for the women, but I have no idea how many women are working. So I'll call it X, right? Sorry. This X has to be here. 12 into 3 into X. Number of women into unit per unit time into number of days, the same over here. So this X stays here and these two go over here. You will get, or I can straight away cancel this. 3 cancels this becomes 6. This cancels over here and this becomes 2. This cancels over here, becomes 2. So X is equal to 40. So how many women are needed? 40 women are required. Simple idea. Get to the base of it and then attack. Right? I'm going to have one quick look at the chart here. Done. There's a question here that says, I started from December 2025, I'm a working professional, I'm weak in quant. Someone started 3 months before you, Vishal, and they also find quant to be difficult. Someone started yesterday, they find it difficult. Everyone finds quant difficult. It's okay. Hang on. Do it slowly. Keep your pace, keep momentum. That's super important, and you'll start getting better. You'll start, if not better, the least that I'll say is you'll start feeling comfortable. The one thing that people often don't understand is you don't get better without getting comfortable with it. Tell me one thing that you're not comfortable doing but you're good at it, except living life. Most of us are not comfortable living a life with all those commitments, but that you are good at doing it. Surviving is one thing that we all are good at. But in general, when it comes to a skill set thing, if you are not comfortable doing something, you will never be good at it. You cannot. You can. Super rare scenarios, extreme cases, this might happen. But in general, the first thing that you have to tell yourself is, okay, I want to feel comfortable about this. I'm going to make math my friend. Then only I'm going to say I'm good at it. So it's super important that you say, it's not annoying me. It's not bugging me. It is not, I'm not apprehensive or paranoid about the subject. I'm feeling good. Have a positive vibe towards it for you to get better. Right? We'll move on to the next one now. Same type of question, slightly different. Go for it. That's okay, Santosh. That's completely fine. You are late because you had other classes, which is good. That shows there is some commitment. I'm glad that you turned up. Vasha says 14, Pari says 14, Karan says 14, Atharv says 14. Only cat says 14. Everyone saying 14. I'm going to assume 14 should be the right answer. Let's do it. 5 men can do the same work as 6 women. Once again, 5m is equal to 6w, or m is to w is equal to 6 is to 5. I'm going to skip a step in between because I want to assume that you guys have understood this. Every time you get this equation for a ratio, you flip the numbers. That's all. 18 men and 12 women together complete a work in 10 days. Now I can substitute the efficiency of men and women here. I can get the total work. What is the total work here? The total work here is going to be 18 men working at 6 units per day plus 12 women working at 5 units per day for 10 days. 18 into 6 is 90 and 18 108 plus 12 into 5 is 60 into 10. That's 1680 is my total work. This 1680 total work should be completed by 24 women who can do 5 units per day in how many days? 24 women and units per day into number of days will be this total work. Sorry, once again, D is equal to 1680 into 24 into 5. This is 120, 12, 24 5s are 120, another 2 times 48. It's just beautifully 7 times, 70 times. So 70 and 5 beautifully go 14 days. Brilliant. That's your answer. Once again, rewrite, substitute the values, find total work divided by who is going to work on it. Do it, we are through. Right? Men rate 6, women 5, yes. Any questions with this question? I want to have a quick look at the chart here. 14, easy peasy, but question was good. Most of the questions will be relatively easy, folks. We are building on foundation, the fundamental part. I think most of them should be on your go. It should be there for you to solve it easily. Sometimes I tell people that once again, don't feel super excited that you were able to solve all questions. Again, stay humble. That's important. We'll hop on to the next one now. Go for this beautiful question. Check it out. Rahul sir be like Tagda, Vinit sir be like Chamka. I refrain myself using the regional languages because there's going to be a bunch of people with various mother tongues here. I cannot stick with one and be unfair to the other people. I speak 3 languages. I understand 5 languages, but English being one of them on both cases. But I'm going to stick with only one. That's English. Today is 8. Yeah, my target is to do 8. 5 of these questions and 3 from the previous class is what I have in my head. That's my target. Hopefully we do it. Only guy is asking, sir, you can't speak Hindi. I do speak Hindi. I speak Hindi. Okay. The comfort, the level of confidence and the clarity and the command that I have over languages goes in the order of Tamil, English, Hindi, Malayalam. Kannada, Telugu I understand. But then Malayalam is, I don't even consider I speak Malayalam because you make some small alterations to Tamil and then you present it. It's all in the presentation. That's what I do. Even Malayalam goes out. My level of speaking Hindi is as good as RCB winning the trophy. Once in a lifetime I speak good Hindi. For 18 years I do nothing, and then all of a sudden it feels like I speak good Hindi. Properly, can I speak Hindi? So the first part of the question, yes, I can. Properly, I doubt it. Any RCB fans? Sorry about it, but then that's the truth. Santosh is asking, when will be clear, when will we solve CAT level questions? Not immediately, but definitely. This entire YouTube series is called Fundamentals. So we will be doing the fundamental part. Right, we'll do this. Only can say I'm an RCB fan. Sad. Right, we'll go to this one now. 4 men can do the same work as 5 women. Once again, I have 4m is equal to 5w, or m is to w is equal to 5 is to 4. 16 men and 10 women together can complete a work in 12 days. That's the task they can complete. This is what the total work is. So total work is equal to 16 into 5 plus 12 into 4 into 12 days. This into 12. So this is 80 plus 48 into 12. 16 men and 10 women. Yeah. I think that's. See, 2 is human, but it's okay. I spotted it. 10 women, so 40 is this. 16 men and 10 women can complete a work in 12 days. So 16 into 5, 10 into 4 into 12. So this is going to be 120 into 12, which will be 1440. This is the total work now. So what happens is, but the work was not completed by 16 men and 12 women, 10 women through the 12 days. So what happened is, in the initial stage, after 4 days, 6 men and 5 women joined, which means that they started with this component, but then some change happened. We'll look at it. So after 6 days, after 4 days, which means for the first 4 days, we happen to have 16 men plus 10 women. This is what we had for the first 4 days. Beautiful. But then after this, 6 men left, 5 women joined, which means for the remaining part, I had 10 men plus 15 women. 6 men left, which means out of 16, 6 left, 10 men. With 10 women already being there, 5 more women joined, so that's 15 women. So this work for the remaining part. Simple, I'll find what is the total work done here, what is the total work left here, how much units can be done in a day, divide it, we are through. I made it a bit too fast, so let's repeat it again. So 16 men and 10 women is going to be 120 units, but that 120 units happen only for 4 days. 16 into 5, 10 into 4, that's 40. For 4 days, that's 480 units done. Out of 1440 units, 480 units over, which means we are left out with 960 units, which should be completed by 10 men and 15 women. Once again, plug in this value here. So this is going to be 10 into 5 plus 15 into 4. This is 50 plus 60. You will happen to get, someone said 12 days and 16 hours. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that part. 10 into 5 plus 15 into 4. So this is 50, this is 60. That's 110 units being completed in a day. I happen to have 960 units. So that will be 960 divided by 110, which leaves you to a fraction, which is completely fine. Our idea is to solve questions. I'm not worried about whether my answer is an integer or a decimal or a fraction. That doesn't matter. 96 by 11 is getting, yes. 96 by 11 is what I'm getting. 96 by 11 would be 8 by 11 days. Right? Hang on once again. The questions might not be super tricky. Again, it's the foundation that you put it in here with a mix. Like you are creating something, get all your fundas like as ingredients, and you choose what goes into your pot, and then you decide. Question asked is total days. Oh, how many total days will the work be completed? Which means another 12 days, which is 12 8 by 11 days then. Yeah. 12 8 by 11 days. Fine. 4 days and then 8 days and then 8/11th of a day, 12 8 by 11. Thank you. I thought remaining part question is total days taken. Brilliant. Any doubts here? Are we good here? Only cat is saying Pari Jalwa Dikha na idhar pe. I don't understand that. Some of those points that you have put over here, I don't understand. It's fine. Now we are done with the man-days part. This is what you get. The tougher variants will be people joining and people leaving. Some people joining on a day-to-day basis, some people leaving on a day-to-day basis in a cyclic pattern. All those are going to be slightly challenging, but hey, if you know how it's done, it doesn't matter how difficult they are. Hang on, keep going around it one more time, have a crack at it, and then we are through. Right? Let's move to the questions that I wanted to solve. I love these questions. I wanted to do it in the last class. These are some nice, challenging, tricky questions that I wanted to do. So what I'll do is, again, I'll give you a couple of minutes for you to comprehend the question, and then we'll attack. Right, we'll do this one now. Beautiful question once again. A drain pipe that can drain a tank in 8 hours. If an inlet pipe that can fill the tank at the rate of 2 liters per minute is opened along with the drain pipe, it takes 10 hours to drain the tank. Find the capacity of the tank. Nice question. It makes me realize that all this while we have been looking at a drain pipe reduces the efficiency of filling the tank. Now a fill pipe is reducing the efficiency of emptying a tank. So the idea has changed. The concept and the theory sticks still with the same idea that you have done. So what does it say? There's a drain pipe that can drain a tank in 8 hours. So I'm going to think about a pipe. This is the drain pipe that can drain in 8 hours. The tank gets drained in 8 hours by this pipe. But then they are telling me if I put an inlet pipe in it, which gives me 2 liters per minute, it takes 10 hours. Both pipes opened at the same. Tank is full. Both the pipes are open at the same time. Instead of taking 8 hours to get emptied, it takes 10 hours to get emptied. Now, I'm going to think about this in a more logical way, super beautifully. Now, if I think about this as, okay, usually the tank takes 8 hours. But today, it took 10 hours. Which means it has taken 2 hours extra. Right? That's what we say. 8 hours of draining happens on a day-to-day basis. All of a sudden today, it took 10 hours to get drained, which means it has taken 2 hours extra. I'm wondering, why does it take 2 hours? What is the reason behind those 2 hours? And then you realize, hey, I've been filling the tank as well. Right? 2 hours of draining extra happened. 2 hours of drain. 2 hours of draining extra is happening. Now, why am I draining it for 2 hours extra? 8 hours of draining is my tank capacity. Whatever I drain in 8 hours will be my tank capacity. I would have closed it there. But then we are draining it for 2 more hours. And then that makes me ask this question, why am I draining it for 2 hours extra? For which I realize that my answer is, I have been filling it for a brief period of time. And my question is, how long were we filling it up? And I realized that I've been filling it up for all 10 hours. Right? You did not fill it for 8 hours. You have been filling it for 10 hours. Or can I say 2 hours of drain is equal to 10 hours of filling? Are we good here? The idea would have been like, I drained it for 2 hours extra to compensate everything that was filled additionally than the tank. And how long did I fill the tank? I've been filling it for 10 hours. Why have 10 hours? From the first point of both pipes being open until the last point where the tank got empty, we have been filling it. Which means 2 hours of drain is equal to the 10 hours of filling. Whatever you can drain in 2 hours is equal to whatever you can fill in 10 hours. I know that you fill it at a rate of 2 liters per minute. Or I can say 2 hours of filling is equal to 10 hours of, each hour is 60 minutes. So that is 60 into 2. Right? Are we good here? 2 hours extra to drain, 2 hours of draining, not filling, sorry. My bad. Went to the flow. The 2 hours drain that I take is this, right? But it doesn't end here. 2 hours of draining will be nothing but 1,200 liters. If I drain for 2 hours, I drain 1,200 liters. But the question is capacity of the tank, which means I have to drain it for 8 hours. Simply, I'm going to multiply this by 4, which is 8 hours of drain is equal to 4,800 liters, which will be the capacity of the tank. Simple logic application. You drained it for 2 hours extra, and I think about it, why am I doing extra work? And then I realize extra amount of water has been flowing inside. And then I question, how long did you fill it? And the answer is 10 hours now. So 2 hours of whatever was being drained out was compensated by 10 hours of filling. Or I have to say it the other way around. 10 hours of whatever was filled in had to be compensated by additional 2 hours of draining. So 2 hours of drain is equal to 10 hours of filling. And then I find what was filled in 10 hours. I happen to get 1200 liters. I can drain 1200 liters in 2 hours. In 4 hours that will be for 2400 liters. In 8 hours that will be 4800 liters, which will be the capacity of the tank, and we sign it off with this. Nice question. These are questions that are super simple, but then you can easily mess it up. Easily mess it up. Yeah. Sometimes I've seen people say this 2 hours of filling draining is equal to 8 hours of filling. They forget that the 2 hours that extra happened also was compensated, had been filling. So ensure that you don't make that mistake and get it right. Right? Are we good here? Any doubts? We'll jump on to the next one now. Athar said 4800, only cat 4800, Pari 4800, Karan 4800, Santosh 4800. Great, beautiful. 2 more questions and then we are good for the day. Have a crack at this now. Those are the 4 options: 15, 16, 17, 18. A variant of this question happened to come in cat. Same question, same variant, same idea, different numbers obviously. So it's a cat variant question, go for it. Santosh says 18. Oh. Getting 2 people saying 18. Pari says 17. Pari Jain says 17. Santosh says 18. Atharv 18. Krishna Diora says 18. Let's see. Varsha says 16. Karan says 17. Should we solve now or should I give you a little more time? Right. I want to go have a go at this question now. But before I solve this question, um, here comes my question. Do you want to solve this the conventional way or the logical way? You can do it in both ways. Do you want to do it in the conventional way, like the proper equational conventional way, or fly and then do the logical way of doing it? I want to see the answers now because both are good. Then I have an inclination, obviously. Give me a minute, give me a minute. Give me a minute, give me a minute.